Hey everyone, Ravi here with Let's Build a Ravi. So I've just been tidying up the ceiling still. As we saw in the last video, there was a lot of like underplaster and you can kind of see it behind me. There's a lot of underplaster that was still there. So what I've done is I've gone and I've added the finishing plaster. So let's take a look at the finishing plaster. So what I've done here, you can kind of see on both sides. I've taken the finishing plaster and I've taken my paper and I've notched it to be in half. So here's the paper. I folded it in half. It has a notch in it already, so that's kind of wonderful, right? I folded it in half and I put half on top. Oh, sorry. First, I took generous amounts of mud on my smaller trowel. This one here. I took generous amounts of mud on my smaller trowel there from here, so I didn't have to get up and down on the ladder. So I used that as my hock. I used this as my trowel, and I applied that just about maybe this much on the edge of the trowel, all the way across the edge. And I just kind of went like this. Just pasted it on. Nothing fancy, nothing smooth, but it's collective, right? It's weight. That's what I'm doing. I'm adding weight, I'm adding collective. So once I have the collective, I then tilt my blade. If I'm going up, I go like this and just lightly smooth it out and collect the excess, put it back on my hock. And the same thing on the side here. I just slightly smooth it out. Once I built up a layer, not a thick layer, but a thick layer, right? Like not too much, not too little. So maybe just like 2 millimeters. I would put that paper that I folded and I would just push it in. Because there's enough plaster there, it just sit nicely. And then I took my trowel and I edged it in. First of all, I edged it in like that. And then I took my trowel and went all the way down. As much as I did it in segments. So one segment here, one segment here, one segment here. And I went smooth it all the way down, collected the excess, kind of pushed out the excess and put it back on my hock. And then I did the same thing on this side and then I went all the way down like that. And again with the hock, put the excess back on the hock. And then I took all that excess and got more and I put a coat on top over it so that I can smooth that out and sand that. So that's kind of here. It's like a sandwich, right? It's like a sandwich where the bread is in the middle and the plaster is on the outside. And I went all the way around and I did about half the room and then I have to go home. I have to do some other work that I have going on. So I am going to go home now and that's it. So that's kind of what I've been up to, sanding down the surfaces. As you can kind of see, I'll give you a bit of a zoom out to be honest. See if this is any good. The whole ceiling, oh my gosh, if you guys remember earlier videos, we were just in quite a mess, right? Like we took down the entire ceiling and now we've put the entire ceiling back up and added extra wall, ceiling height and extra wall to fill in the gap. And now we're plastering all the edges. So we've come quite a good way, I would say, like we've done pretty well for ourselves. Last things left in this room is to sand out some more finishing areas. You can maybe see here, that needs to be sanded out. It was still drying, so it's kind of funny. So to sand out everything, do the rest of the edging, and then get a random orbital sander and sand all the walls down nicely. And then, patch up any of these holes that we have, and just with the random orbital sander, just smooth it all out. And then, and then fill in the mud behind the skirting. And the reason I want to do that, I don't think it's super necessary, but the reason I want to fill in the mud behind where the skirting should be, I can zoom in. Oh, what happened? Sorry. The reason I want to mud it in back there is that I just want it to be smooth, to be honest. I just want it to be smooth. There's I don't think there's a big reason. I just want it to be smooth. Also, it gives a location for the nails and for the glue. I'm going to glue my baseboards on, to be honest. It gives some place for the nails and the glue to come in and just stick to. So that's it. I'm not sure what to do here. There's a lot of finishing stuff we have to do. There's my count. A lot of finishing stuff we have to do. I might take out these baseboards or leave them in, depending on the life. I got to put in the electrical. You can see I've kind of drew it out on where I want it to go. I just have to make sure that's compliant. And then I have to remove this and then get behind it and get rid of the wallpaper and then fill it up again. But we have 2 weeks until we move in. So I think we're making pretty decent progress. and yeah, and I think we're gonna make it. So in 2 weeks, when I come back in the next episode, I am gonna sand everything down and then finish off. So I'm gonna sand and finish, and then come back and sand, and then finish here as well. So more tools, expect more me in the coming episodes. And I'm gonna go home and take a shower. See ya, bye.